Good night, good night, good night. I hope you're having a great time because I'm having a great time. It's been an interesting day. It's been an interesting day, but we are back again. Welcome, Love Bay Radio. Uh, this is the Champions Table, and I'm happy to be here. We got an exciting conversation that we're going to have with a special man by the name of Johnson, and we're going to be talking about some great things today. All right. So let me tell you what's going on as we get into it. And once again, I'm just happy that you're here. I do apologize for the little late start, but we're here and we're gonna have a great show today on the Champions Table, talking to some really great people about the work that they're doing in the community. So once again, let me tell you what's going on today. As you know, every time we get together, there's intentional conversations, and this is going to be another intentional conversation that we have today. And what are we talking about? Well, this show is called The Champions Table, and we are talking about the rise of community champions. So, who is and who are the rise of community champions, this non for profit group? Well, let's find out about them. The Rise of Community Champions, or RCC, is a Brampton based non for profit organization dedicated to fostering a community of leaders committed to making a positive impact. We believe in the power of collaboration, mentorship, and empowerment to bring about meaningful change. Yeah. The organization of the Rise of Community Champions provides a platform for individuals, particularly youth and community members, to come together, share ideas, and create sustainable solutions to address local challenges. Founded on the principles of inclusivity, leadership, and community-driven change, Rise of Community Champions serves as a bridge between individuals seeking to make a difference and the resources, knowledge, and the networks necessary to bring their vision to life. We work tirelessly. They work tirelessly to equip aspiring entrepreneurs, community leaders, and advocates with the tools they need to succeed. Through various initiatives and events, Rise of Champions fosters a culture of support, innovation, and active engagement, ensuring that every community member has the opportunity to thrive. Whether it's through educational conferences, business summits, leadership training, we are the Rise of Champions community are committed to nurturing a society where people feel empowered to take action and contribute to their social and economic growth. At Rise of Community Champions, we believe, they believe, and they do this in real life. Real change happens when people come together. Real change happens when people come together with shared purpose by fostering strong connections and creating opportunities for knowledge sharing. We aim to uplift the communities, drive positive transformation, and inspire the next generation of change makers. So, as we always say, men talk, women talk, but the truth can't lie, and the truth will set you free. Please join me in welcoming my brother and a champion in the community, Johnson.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nigel, for this opportunity. I'm so grateful that we're on this platform today
Yeah.
and connecting with the rest of the people. I'm hoping that we'll make some great impacts this evening.
Definitely, man. Definitely. This is a part of the talking about the impact. The impact's already happening. This is just going to share the impact with more people so that more people can know that this is great work happening and
Mhm,
it's going to continue and more people will be impacted by it and it will grow into not just Brampton but
mhm.
globally, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely. First and foremost, man, how are you doing, brother? How are you doing?
Well, it's a great day. It's first day of October, and
Mhm.
my home country today happens to be the Independence Day
That's all
of
right.
of my home country. So,
And tell us your home country, brother.
well, I'm originally from Nigeria, and
Okay.
So we're here, and
So
you know
we rising
what
with
it
the
is.
so hold on. I'm gonna make this sink in for a
Got you.
second. Let me sink in for a second. So we together on the champions table, and
Mhm,
we're talking about the rise of community champions
mhm.
as we celebrate the independence of Nigeria.
You
All
can
in one.
imagine that. You can imagine.
All in one. That's all right. That's all
Yeah,
right.
that's
That's a
amazing.
moment. That's a moment we take in, we digest it, and we say, this is special.
Yeah, the
This is
crew is
special.
having an event tonight, but I had to
Mhm.
excuse myself to make sure that I'm available tonight to share with the rest of the people,
That's
what's
awesome.
going on. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And those listening, as you know, this is an open conversation where you can definitely ask questions and comments and so forth to Johnson and hear more about this amazing thing. So let's get into it, man. Let's start talking, you know.
Mhm.
I am motivated just by the name itself, the rise of community champions. It already, it's a special name. So I want to ask you, man. Let's start here, man. How did
Mhm.
the team decide on the name Rise of Community Champions?
Yeah, oftentimes people ask this question: How? What about Rise of Community Champions? How did you guys think about such a name? But then the name came from a collective belief in everyday people.
Mm,
At some point, you begin to ask yourself, for instance, for a young person, you're trying to figure life out at 16, at 15, at 14, or even at 18, you're trying to figure life out. But herein lies within you a champion that the world is
mm.
waiting for.
Come on.
So the name encapsulates the potentials in every person. Everyone has got something great that the world is waiting for. So we were looking forward to something that can spur people up, that can spur anybody up, because we believe that everyone is a champion in his own making. So that's how the name came about. And it resonates with people. When
Yep.
people hear about it, you ask yourself, am I what about me? Who am I? It creates that curiosity to ask yourself, who am I? What am I up to? Where am I going to? So everyone is a champion, and Rise of Community Champions creates that platform to bridge the gap by providing information to those who are trying to figure themselves, between those who already figured them out, and then create a mentorship platform that those who are already there and those who are on the journey to getting there could, connect in some way and lighten the world.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. It speaks for itself, man. Definitely. The
Mhm.
rising of community champions is what's taking place in real life. In real life, with every new person coming in, is it this rising of community champions? That's dope, man. Let me ask you this question, man. So how did your journey? How did you come to rise of community champions?
Yeah, really. It's coming to Rise of Community Champions it's been a journey, like you said. But over the years, I've also been in community support, community
Mm,
development. I find interest, I find a passion in speaking up for the oppressed, the less privileged, those who can speak for themselves, and it goes beyond speaking for, but actioning or creating actionable steps to create awareness or bring some level of support to those who can support themselves. And when you look around us, there are different levels of support system, but the challenge is that a lot of people are not aware that these support
mm,
systems do exist. So I've been there, supporting community, and at some point that leadership's ability in me was seen, and I was elected to be the president of Rise of Community Champions. And since then, with the rest of the team, I've continued to support the progress of Rise of
Mhm.
Community Champions. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let me ask you this: like, what? Maybe I'm fast forwarding, but I'm curious to know, like, what would a day in the life of a so let's fast forward and just like if we were at an event now of the Rise of Community Champions, what
Yeah.
would happen? What would take place? What would go on?
All
I
right.
guess that's what. Yeah.
For us at Rise of Community Champions, there are different events. There are different options that do happen. For
Mhm.
instance, we've held several events, and these events are targeted towards the community. One of the events that might interest you, beyond what we have coming up on Saturday, we've held events such as United Against Bullying. That was
Yeah.
the theme of that event, United Against Bullying. And it came as a result of feedback that we've continued to receive from the schools, the high
Mm,
school, the colleges, even amongst home. Uh, you may not know how difficult life could be if you're the bullied.
mm,
So it is such that destinies are truncated just because you're being bullied. A young lady who is being bullied either by a schoolmate, or a young boy who is being bullied, or even a wife or a spouse who is being bullied at home. The trauma is a lot. And these are things that lead to mental health.
mhm,
Okay. So for a typical event of Rise of Community Champions, we bring in stakeholders, we bring in subject matter experts in the topics or in the theme that we're dealing with. And what these colleagues will do will be to point people towards where they can get help and also provide the relevant assistance that people require. And more often, also, we try to develop policies that are
mm,
submitted to government for policy making. So, for instance, in United Against Bullying, there were several instances that came up in that event. Lots of young people expressed themselves. It was something so emotional to hear what people go through, even from the grade two, grade one, grade, to higher, what people go through as a result of bullying. And one of the things that came out of it is that oftentimes you find out that the people who bully have undue advantage, and the
mhm,
system somehow supports them,
mm,
because for the one who is reporting bully, you're expected to prove that you were bullied. And there
mm,
are bullying that you can't really prove it. People bully you, but systematically in such a way that you can't bully. So experts that work with us provide all manner of support. So we also come up with policy documents that are submitted to government in such a way that when policies are being implemented, our submission is considered, around the schools and communities beyond.
yeah. So let's talk about that. For those who don't know, so a policy is what? Tell us what a policy is first and foremost.
So
Yeah.
for a policy,
Yeah.
it's a document,
Hmm.
which has an objective to create an impact or to make a change.
Mm,
For
right.
instance, things could be going wrong, and policies are not just for things going wrong. A policy is just an organized document for a meaningful impact, to drive a
Mm,
change, to improve a process, or anything to better the lives of people.
right. Right. And so as a group, you formulate these policies that you know will bring impact and change, right? And present them to the government, and then have
Exactly.
the government approve this so that this change can happen within whatever system that's in, is the education system or whatever system it's involved in, right?
Yes. So we come up with a communique.
Hmm.
So these communiques are submitted to government agencies depending on what we're working on.
Hmm.
So at the point where policies are being implemented, I'm trying to find a better way to put it. At a time where they are
Being formulated,
working on
being formulated.
that,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, being
yeah.
formulated. within that subject
Right.
matter, our submission is
Right.
considered, based on our research and also feedback from the
Hmm.
people.
So they
Yeah.
they let you. How do you know that this is happening? Do they share this with you? Like, do they tell you like on this particular day we're going to be dealing with this particular topic, and can you have the Rise of Champions community bring some things to? Is that how does that go? So,
No,
yeah.
so what happens is that, so for instance, let's say on this bullying issue,
Right.
for instance, so what we have to do is at the end of the communique, we send that out
Right.
to government, and we
Or at the end
expect
of the
that
actual workshop or the end of the event.
at the end of the
Got it.
workshop,
Yeah.
yes, at the end of the
Right.
event, at the end of the event, because our events also we have government
Right.
support. So at the end of that event, you make a report, bringing communique.
Got it.
For instance, what's going to happen on
Hmm.
Saturday, which is well, that's another thing that I don't want to
We'll
jump
get
in.
there. We'll get there
So at the
after.
end of that, yes, at the end of all of
Yes.
this, you come up with a communique, and these are from real life
Right.
people giving you
Right.
feedback based on either a policy that government has set up, how they want this policy to be adjusted or
Primary
implemented.
source.
So those
Primary
are things
source.
from
Right.
primary
Right.
sources, yes, primary
Right.
sources. And those are things that government do consider when they are formulating a policy or when they are implementing a
That's
policy.
awesome. That's awesome. And that's real and tangible. Yeah. That's awesome. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, for instance, in the city of
Hmm.
Brampton, where you gather people like that, invite subject matter
Hmm.
experts, and as they have conversations around bullying, you have the mayor of the city
Yeah.
there, and you listen to the kids talk, you listen to men and women make their
Hmm.
contribution, and at the end of that we come up with a policy, we come up with a communique sent to the city for policy implementation. So it's such a beautiful contribution that we
That is
make
awesome, man.
for
That is awesome.
yeah.
So here's my question. Is
Mhm.
is this only happening in Brampton? Like this approach, is this where else is this happening? Like, because I've never heard it from this in the sense of this tangible. I've never heard it this tangible
Mhm.
before.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so well, uh, we are Brampton
Right,
based, but then yeah, but we're looking forward to
right,
Ontario.
right. So expanding
Yes, we're
this
Brampton
same
based, so
model,
we're
this same
expanding
model.
this
Yeah,
same model,
right,
from 2026. We're looking forward to expanding, through the
right.
province, such that many more people can benefit from the research that
Yeah.
we do, and also benefit from the platform that
That's
we
awesome.
create.
That's awesome. And so let me
Yeah.
ask you this question because we just got into it. So how do you engage, like, because you said something, you said you create or you help to create strong and engaged communities. So how
Mhm.
do you first engage the community into this conversation? And then how do you ensure that this stays strong and stays engaged? Like the community stays strong and stays engaged, if you understand what I mean,
All right.
right? So
So
they bring them to the table, right? And now they're at the table, they have the conversation. How do we make sure that they stay at the table and you know what I mean? And keep the
yeah,
conversation going. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's an interesting part of this piece.
Hmm.
The reason the reason we've succeeded, the team is made up of different people with very strong technical capacity in
Hmm.
terms of their professionalism, in terms of what they bring to the table. So what you're asking about is more like it falls under our research and statistics
Hmm.
unit. So we have teams who go on follow up, people who follow up, who assess the impact of various events that has happened. Now, for instance, last year we held the Arise Business Summit.
Hmm.
Now, the Arise Business Summit was focused on small businesses, startups. So, what we were looking forward to in the Arise Business Summit was looking at established businesses, and we identified some established businesses, and we began to engage them in such a way that most of them Canadians and some are immigrants, but these guys over the years have succeeded. And I share this
Mm.
for where one of the guys who owns a bakery, who was with us in the summit, very successful young man. And I shared with him that you came in here, you weren't born in this country, but your business has a turnover in excess of millions of dollars. Now, there are young people who have arrived this country like you did several years ago, who are
Mhm.
trying to figure it out. You've done it. You've gone through the process. They may not need to go through what you went through. They could stand on the shoulder of a giant like
Mm.
to be able to make a difference.
Yeah.
How will you feel if one, two, three, four people succeed based on your advice, based on your mentorship in business? How will you feel 5 years today from now? These guys are mentioning your name as their mentors who helped them succeed. This was a story we sold to lots of businesses.
Mhm.
The need for them to join the Rise Business Summit. And we had a lot of people. And on the other side, also, you had small businesses, young adults, men, women who had business ideas, some registered, some not incorporated. And in the summit, we also brought in the Brampton Entrepreneurship Unit, who also
Mm.
was an umbrella unit that could help young or business startups on how to navigate the Canadian industry. So
That's amazing.
it was such a robust platform. People
Mhm.
live in this city and they never knew that there was such government platforms.
Mm.
Now, the challenge is that because you run 9 to 5 in the morning, you run away from your house only
Right.
to come back at night. The next day, you run away from your house,
Do the same
even
thing.
though,
Right.
even though you bought that house almost $1 million.
Mhm.
For this same house, you bought almost $1 million. You keep running away from this home day after day.
Right.
And more often than not, nothing else matters to you apart from the 9 to 5, 10 hours,
Mm.
15-hour shifts. So when there are opportunities just by your doorstep, beside you, you may not know. So for us, we gather this information, we gather this government access and bring it to people and sell it to them in a way that it, it connects with them. And
Mm.
that's why they will come. You were asking how we connect with the community. So these are ways that we connect with the community. And again, depending on the people we are targeting, there are people you connect with. You have to use the social media to connect with them. You have to
Right.
continuously engage them on social media. There are certain people you have to send emails to identify a group you send emails to. However, there are a large number of people that you have to connect using their religious bodies to connect with them.
Mm.
So
Right.
most people believe in their religious bodies more than they believe in the government.
Mhm.
Therefore, for us, we have the time to go into such religious bodies and speak the language they do understand. And
Right.
that at that point, you're connecting with them at their level. And
Right.
when you ask them to show up, they do show up and also benefit from the platform that we've created.
Because you did it first. You showed up
Well,
for them, right? You
we
showed up
showed up,
for
yeah,
them
for
in
sure.
their
We
community
showed up
and
for
in their
them.
faith-based organization. You showed up for them. So they're
Yeah.
like, okay, you came here to share this with me, and then vice versa, they come out. Yeah. Yeah.
And I tell you, in the Arise Business Summit, when we took a study on the outcome, we noticed there were more than 50 new businesses that had to approach the Brampton Entrepreneurship Unit just to get started on the next
Wow. That's
get
amazing.
to get started on the next step. And
Mhm.
in the units, and this is City of Brampton owned office, they have advisors who can help you, walk you from A to Z on getting started in a business, and also how to even get funding for your business, connect you to mentors. But people live around and they don't know that these things happen. At the provincial level, these opportunities are there. And that's why from 2026, we also scale up a bit to look at the opportunities around the provincial level.
Wow. Wow. If you are listening right now, Love Bay Radio, I know we talk to people from all over the world, but specifically in Toronto and specifically in Canada, and specifically in Ontario, these are things that are accessible and available to small businesses, entrepreneurs, people who are trying to start things and they're wondering where to go. There are community organizations like Champions, like the Community of Champions, that are helping to support entrepreneurs and businesses. So tap in, get connected with these amazing groups that help you on the process. This is great. This is great because the need is there, right? And so many people have so many aspiring and amazing ideas, right? And it's like, they start off, the baby's born, the baby crawls, but they get to a place where they're like, how do I get to this next level? And the fact that you guys are here bridging that stepping stone is great for the community, really great for the community. So I'm glad that you shared that, man. Let me ask you this, man. You said something, and I've been reading your website. You said, I'm going to ask you something about this. You talked about economic growth within your website. So I'm asking, the question I'm asking is, how as a community do we maintain and sustain this economic growth? So now these businesses, they're thriving, they're growing, they're building, right? And this, and I know this too, is that as a community, what we have to do as a community, we have to continually invest in our community and put it in a place where we're very intentional about continually investing in our community, so it thrives, so it grows, so it does those things. So how do we, first and foremost, as a community, first of all, how do we, when we get these opportunities, how do we maintain this and sustain this economic growth? Yeah,
Nigel, this is very, very, very interesting. And the reason I say that is that economic growth is sustained through entrepreneurship. It's also sustained through education.
Yeah.
Economic growth is sustained through partnership. Therefore, we need to support small businesses, create pathways for youth employment, and connect startups with government resources. So these are ways to sustain it. And by building an ecosystem where businesses can thrive and residents can access skills, training, and also be part of it.
Yeah.
So economic growth is inclusive. There's no one-stop shop that you could say this is it. But the major thing we know is that we must sustain entrepreneurship. We must sustain that our people get educated, and not just get educated, get the right education. And you could ask, what is this education? What is the degree? Education is the process of passing on to the rising generation the norms and ideals of the society, the technology of the society. So it's a process passing on to the rising generation the norms and ideals, the values, the technology involved in all of this process in such a way that we will continue to create more jobs, such that when people come out, they find something to do. We must also sustain partnerships. No one person just makes it alone. The hand needs a second hand to clap. We must lend our shoulders to each other. There's no one win all mentality. You could go far, but you will not go. There's a limit to how far you succeed. And each time I get asked this same question, how can we sustain it? The sustenance is key, such that we are providing opportunities for the next generation. For instance, different communities create the jobs that hire their people.
Mm-hmm.
Different communities create the jobs that hire their people. I know certain communities are trying to leverage on the resources of government to be able to create entrepreneurship. However, we need to come shoulder to shoulder, believe in partnership and in cooperation, such that we can build a long-lasting business, businesses that can outlive us. We know businesses that have spanned for over 100 years, but most times our community, our businesses don't last so long. We talk about generational wealth. Most people today are basking on the euphoria of generational wealth. And that's why if it's a 100 meters dash, you can't compete because
Mm-hmm.
their previous generation have run the race ahead of them. This is the mentality that we should have. And the way to succeed in that is by building partnerships, encouraging education, encouraging entrepreneurship, building an ecosystem where businesses can thrive. We must learn to trade among ourselves. Most often, we do not trade among ourselves. Most often, we do not patronize ourselves.
Mm.
These are the ways that if we implement these things, we can sustain economic growth.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful indeed. Entrepreneurship, partnership, and education.
Education,
Yeah. Entrepreneurship, partnership,
supporting,
education. Yeah.
supporting the young people.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, when a young person comes out to the world after school or whatever, and now
Mm-hmm.
education is not just going to
To school.
PhD or no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's not education.
Right.
Education is about skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
What is the quality of skill set that you have today? If you want to make money, solve more problems.
Mm.
That's the
Say that one more
mindset.
time. Say that
If you
one more
want to
time.
make money, solve more
Mm.
problems.
Come on.
That's there. You
Yeah.
must find a problem to solve. This is the
Mm-hmm.
way to make money in the 21st century. Those who solve
Yeah.
more problems make more money.
Mm.
And people go ahead to create the problems such that they can solve it and make money.
Right.
We should encourage solving problems. When we
Mm-hmm.
solve problems, we make money. It's not only by PhD. It's okay to make a PhD, but that's not the only education. We must encourage skill sets.
That's powerful, man. That's really powerful. You heard that? Hey, if you're at your house right now, I hope you wrote that down. I hope you wrote that down. If you want to make money and make real impact, solve problems and keep solving problems because the world needs the solutions. We live in a world where they need solutions. So solve the problems. We see the problems, we see them on the news, we see it all over. But who is thinking about how these problems can be solved? And the people who are thinking about that will change the world. Let's talk a
You
little
know
bit,
what? I
man.
tell you
Go
something
ahead.
again.
Yeah.
Why most people have not started is
Hmm.
because it has never been done.
Mm.
Yeah, most people have not started because it has never been done. But become conscious of being the first person to do it. And that's how to make a difference. Become very conscious of being the person who will do what has never been done. You become a champion. You become the real deal because it has never been done.
That's
And
amazing. Yep.
yeah,
That's so revolutionary thinking, man. That's revolutionary thinking indeed. You know, revolutionary thinking, man. No, for real, for real. You know,
yeah,
some people
because
are waiting for opportunities or waiting for something to come, but it's like, no, you are that. And I've heard that so many times that you're looking for something, but you are the thing that you're
you're,
looking for.
you are
It's
the
all about
solution.
developing. Yeah, yeah,
You are the
yeah.
solution that you're looking for.
Hmm.
Just that
Right.
if not really, be patient to ask yourself, what can I do? You are
Yeah.
the. I believe that's what the rise of community champions is all about. That we are
Yeah.
solutions at different levels.
Right. Right. That's amazing, man. Yeah, that's amazing. You started talking about it, and I was like, we're definitely gonna get into it, man. So, young people, man, you said creating, a space for, the next. They call them the next generation, but I say they're the generation now, right? So the generation now that you're investing in, and you say specifically youth empowerment.
Mhm.
Um, let's talk about that, because you said you create opportunities for young people to get engaged. Let's talk about that. How do we get young people involved? How are young people involved, and how do we? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
like the world is changing, and it's changing very fast.
Right,
Now, before we used to say the next generation. That we move from the next generation to Generation Z.
right.
We move from Generation Z to Generation X. Now, I don't even know what it is right now. We have the Gen Z, the Gen I, the Gen X.
Right.
I don't know
We on Gen Next now.
next, right? So listen, and this tells you the mentality and how fast our lives are evolving.
Mhm.
So what worked yesterday probably may not work today.
Yep.
So we are in the age of new thinking and new processes. So what worked years back probably may not work today. And that's what you see around the young people, such that we must develop our educational system. We must develop in such a way that we are catching up with the rising trend. And that's
Mm.
why I define education as the process of passing on to the rising generation the norms and ideals, because the society is changing. There are new things coming up. So we must fashion our lives in a way that we cope with the new trend.
Mhm.
So at Rise of Community Champions, we understand that this is the situation we find ourselves. Now, the young people today, they are fast, they are smart, they are impatient,
For the right
and
reasons.
yeah, and they want results now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was different before. So how do you manage such a people that are impatient, that are they just want it now?
Yeah.
They just want to press a button and have all the money come out. Just
Yep.
want to do. Nobody wants to waste time just talking things that are irrelevant.
Mhm.
So this is where we are. So for us as a team, we try to also sustain mentorship. We try to encourage mentorship around young people. So, in encouraging mentorship, we try to also come up with guidance counselors, and we do it informally, not in a very formal background that people find it difficult to express themselves. Oftentimes, we
Mhm.
come into basketball courts and have ventilate with young people, share ideas with young people, and you hear them back. Then we invite them into formal sessions where we can follow up with these people. Oftentimes, you have people struggling with, for instance, people in high school struggling with what do I become? What do I need to study? Most of them do not want to go to the guidance counselors in school. They just
Mhm.
feel, what am I gonna tell this
Yeah.
man or woman? Now,
Right.
so we bring in young folks who have also succeeded in their own right. Like I
Mm.
have a young man
Now you're
who,
talking. Now you're
yeah,
talking. Mhm.
I have a
Mhm.
young man who started a tech business,
Right.
very, very successful tech business, very young man. When you
Mhm.
bring in things, people like that, there are some who are nurses, some who are um, handymen, doing their things in their own right and succeeding. So we bring in such people, and they have a conversation with these young lads, and often, and it's in a relaxed environment. So these guys are telling you real life things.
Mm.
That mentorship is very firebrand. That
Yeah.
at the end of
Real
such
gems. Real gems. Yeah. Yeah.
at the end of
Mhm.
such sessions, you begin to think about it. If these guys, these girls are doing it, then what's the big deal? I can do it. Okay, so these are levels of partnerships or mentorships that we bring on board for young people. And with other programs that we do, we try to bring them on as volunteers also. So in the
Right.
course of volunteering, they see how
Interact,
yeah,
connect.
interact with
Right.
people, interact with employers of labor, because
Right.
in our forums we do have industry, we have different classes of people coming in. So when you come into that space, you connect with people, you see how things are done, and you realize that some of the captains of industries are just young people like you, just young people. So which
Mhm.
means as a young person, you're not too far from being an inventor. You're not too far from being the next real big deal. You're not too far
Mhm.
from being the next musician. You're not far from just being anything good. Just
Right.
more patient. It's
Yeah.
going to happen for you. For instance, I share a story with you. A young lady, Cheryl, she came into this country homeless. She came
Wow.
homeless in this country. And from being homeless, different issues as a young lady. But
Mhm.
fast forward from then till now, even though life pushed her beyond measure,
Mm.
she's become such a success. She's set up, different businesses, built different healthcare uh, startup businesses, and today she's an employer of labor.
Wow.
And when you hear such a story, and she goes ahead to tell me that, listen, as a teenager, I had a baby.
Mm.
You know that? I had the baby, but guess what? My parents didn't kill me, even though it was a situation. They took care of the baby and they allowed me have my life back.
Wow. Yeah.
Today, today, she owns several businesses. She owns several businesses. Even though at some point she was homeless in this country, she's an immigrant. So she has all the odds against her. So when a young person, when a young lady is listening to such a person
Yep.
who thinks, oh, because I've made XYZ mistake, it's all over for me. Listen, just be patient. All you need to do is to believe in yourself. The biggest weapon you have as a
Mm.
human being is belief.
Yep.
The biggest thing that no one should take from you is belief.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't believe in yourself, even when you turn your back against the wall,
Come
still
on.
believe
Yeah.
it. It's not over yet. You
Yeah.
can bounce back. It might not be immediate, but just keep working.
Yeah.
Nature has a way of serendipity, magneting those powerful forces of connections and connectors that can lift you up when you walk, because you've got to walk it.
Yep.
So when a young person is in a forum like this, seeing people who were neglected, who lost it all, who made mistakes, eventually, in spite of all odds, they pull through. Then you begin to ask yourself, it's not
Why
over.
can't I?
And for
Yeah.
instance, you want to leave school. So you have a young lady that said, "Oh, at some point I left school. I just couldn't fix it." Said 2 years later, said, I don't know what happened to me. It's like something came upon me that, listen, you have to go back to school and finish up. Today, this young lady is one of our success stories.
Yep. Yeah.
So these are ways we connect with young people. It's mentorship, it's education, it's skill set, but also creating a platform where they express themselves.
Right. That's amazing. That is amazing. Man, I hope you all are listening and hearing this, man, that it's possible. It's more than possible, but you have to be in the right place and around the right people who will truly encourage you and motivate you and put the systems around you to ensure that you're successful, man. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, man, and just hearing the success stories from you has motivated me to want to be definitely more a part of this great work that is happening in the Rise Community Champions. So Rise of Community Champions is definitely doing some amazing things and will continue to do some amazing things. So let me know, first and foremost, where can people find you guys? How can they start following you guys? How can they stay connected to you guys so that this is not the first, but this is the first of many more times that they can be a part of this community? Yeah.
All right, that's amazing. We are on Instagram at Rise of Community Champions. We're also on Facebook, Rise of Community Champions. We're on TikTok. I mean, you could also go to our website, www.riseofcommunitychampions.ca. We are live there on Facebook, on our website. You could see what we do. You could follow us on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. And our media team is ever willing to respond to you, ask all the questions. And we hope to collaborate with as many people as possible who are looking forward to collaborating with us. And Saturday promises to be, one of the very
Tell us
big
about Saturday. Tell us about Saturday. Yeah. Tell us about Saturday again.
Oh, amazing. Saturday, it's what everyone has been waiting for. The Rise of Community Champions, our major event this year is titled Addiction and Mental Health. Substance Abuse Elimination Campaign. That's what we're doing. Addiction and Mental Health. Then Substance Abuse Elimination Campaign. So we are raising this campaign starting Saturday, October the 4th, and it's happening at Brampton City Hall. So, and you could ask, what about it? You see, the numbers of mental health issues is going astronomically unbelievable. Mental health is something very emotional to me. And it happens that for this year, the responses we've received so far for this event on Saturday, October 4th at Brampton City Hall, it starts at 12 noon. The responses we've received, the comments, is so touchy. Mothers are willing to come in to ventilate.
Wow.
And the people coming for this event, we have medical doctors, psychiatrists, case management officers. We have different nurses also who are coming to the event. We have different, professionals in the health sector are coming in to give their voices to the mental health and substance abuse. This event, the mayor of Brampton started the advert. He started speaking to people. We've had the Minister of Health also lend a voice. Yes, the Minister of lent her voice to this campaign. And we had Minister McGregor giving his voice also to this event. Associate Minister Shamin Williams also giving her voice to issues around mental health and substance abuse. So, and we have across the GTA, lots of people have registered to attend the event, and we're looking forward to having a very robust event. And one of the things people will be benefiting from the event is that you have case workers available. You have doctors
on site.
Yes, on site.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Give you relevant information. And we also have partner government agencies that are coming on board with us. So it's for those who are asking questions on what to do, on the next steps, and for health people who are around the space, this is a good opportunity to connect with new clients. You could come in and see, have people apparently engage with people and take it from
there. Build those relationships.
Build a relationship, because that's what we are about for. Creating a platform that can support people to succeed. So we're more like a funnel, harness all of this and then funnel it down to those who could give, specific subject matter experts consultations and help as
Yeah.
required. So
Yeah.
Saturday is such a big day for me. And I tell you this story, one of the motivations I had. Just today, one of my colleagues was sharing with me how a 16-year-old girl who has a mental health issue took her life.
Wow.
So it's a situation that's so emotional to me.
Yeah.
You don't know what families go through, what husbands go through, what wives go through, what children go through, what families go through because of this situation. And it's
Mhm.
important that we underscore mental health situation with the highest amount of priority
Yeah.
because it is almost going to be an epidemic.
Yeah.
That's the reason that we all need to lend our voices to support those who are going through this process and also ask for prevention. And that's what these experts are coming to guide us on. One of the doctors is talking about brain injury. She
Wow.
said
Yeah.
her slide, talking about how substance abuse can lead to brain injury. And this is a gradual process. And you could look at the numbers. The amount of substance abuse in this country, it's something you don't even want to think about.
Yeah.
The start is amazing. It's shocking to see that, wow, is this where we are? Um, there are different levels of substance abuse. You know all of it. And this is going to be a free space. It's going to be an open space. It's going to be a friendly platform where people are able to speak up and look for solution. What
Mhm.
usually happens is that people are either afraid or not confident enough to approach some of these agencies to look for help.
Mhm.
But we're coming up to provide a friendly environment where everyone is valued the way you are. So that's
That's
what
amazing.
Saturday is all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
October the
Yeah.
4th, Saturday, 12 noon, Brampton City Hall. And it's going to be great.
It sounds like it's gonna be amazing. And you've heard it. You heard it first, man. Be there. This is the conversation about mental health. And it's not just a conversation, it is the resources, the people that can really support this fight against mental health or to ensure that our mental well-being stays at its optimal level. Yeah, this is truly amazing. Brother Joseph, brother Johnson, man. This has been amazing. It has been amazing speaking with you and knowing and you sharing with us the great work that Rise of Community Champions is doing in the GTA and around the province. I'm so excited to hear this and to know that this exists now and to also know that this is not the end, it's the beginning and there's
It's the
so much
beginning.
more coming, right? So it's a grateful and I'm grateful to be here and really be on this platform and have this conversation with you and those who are listening and watching. This is not just a conversation here, this is happening, right? So get connected, get involved. You've heard the Instagram the what the Instagram is and you know what's going on. Get involved, get connected. Look at my Instagram. If you're following me, I've already started following them, and I'm gonna post some. I'm gonna post this information as a story so that you can see it and be there. This is amazing. So get
And I have your logo right
yeah, yeah,
there
yeah.
too. You can see your logo right
Okay.
there.
Nice. Love Bay is there. Yeah. Love Bay is supporting this because this is about community partnershiping and for a really good cause. So Love Bay family, we are once again thankful that you listened and heard some really good things that are happening in our community and more to come. More to come and so much more in store. And we just want to thank our brother once again for showing up and sharing the great things that are happening. And we're just honored that you're here, man, and we're honored that this rise of community champions exists in Canada and more to come, not just here, but all over. So as we say on every show, you know, men talk, women talk, but the truth can't lie, and the truth will set you free. I hope you have a great, great evening. Stay blessed, and we'll talk soon. Peace.
Thank you very much. Thank you so, so much for having me. I appreciate that. And for those who may want to send an email, it's info at Rise of Community Champions. Info at Rise of Community Champions.
Yeah. Awesome.